Let us get started. Yesterday we were working on Azure CLI, right? Right. So when we work on Azure CLI, please understand this basic convention. First of all, am I audible? Right, sir. So Azure CLI is organized, okay, to be easy to build up commands, build command line. Okay. The basic structure will be AZ service. Okay. You might have sub services. Okay. And then you would have action. And then you would have action. And this might take some parameters. Hyphen, parameter 1, value 1. You can go on till hyphen, parameter n and value n. Am I clear on this? Okay. So for example, let us look at this command. Az group create. So create comes under the action. So you might or might not have sub services, right? You might not have all the parameters. And then we have created something like name, test resource group. And then we have created something called as location. So whatever is the location of the stuff, we have created something like central US. Is this not what we have done? Okay. And now when we wanted to create networking, AZ, networking, VNet, create. Okay. Like create, you would have list. List falls under action. Okay. So in above examples, create and test are actions. Am I clear on this? So you might work on any Azure CLI command. It will have actions. Actions could be list, show, create, delete, edit. Okay. And then you would have your structure to find out what is the resource which you are trying to work on, and then you would have some parameters. Am I clear on this, sir? Okay. So any Azure command, CLI command is organized in a very simple way, saying that AZ, then you would have some service group, okay, and then you would have sub service group, and then you would basically create the commands. So let us look at some of the commands which we have written over here. So is it not the same thing? AZ group create, AZ network VNet create. Yes, sir. Is there any doubt in this? Good. Now let us continue with our network where we had to create 4 more subnets. So how do I do that? Okay. So there is no need for you to remember any command. Azure CLI. If you get into the official documentation of Azure CLI, scroll down, you would be seeing a section called as reference. In reference right now, I'm working with networking. In networking, I'm working with virtual network. In virtual network, I'm looking at subnets. And right now, I'm trying to create it. So whenever you look at this, he will try to give you some examples also. Whatever is in square brackets are optional fields, right? So I'll be writing something like AZ network create hyphen name web. Okay. Right. So what are the other values? Hyphen hyphen address prefixes. What is the address prefix for your subnet? Okay. 10.10.0.0/24. Okay. Resource group. Okay. Resource group's name is from CLI. Okay. Hyphen hyphen network. VNet name. VNet name we have given it as enter. Now you select this. You right click, run line in terminal. So if you see this line is running in terminal. Now let us see what is happening in Azure. Right. So if I get into this enter, and if I get into this subnets, okay, so are using a web subnet. Similarly, we'll be adding 4 more. Web, okay, business, DB, and management. Okay, so from business till management, I'll right click and then I'll say run line in terminal. Otherwise, you can copy these commands and type it in PowerShell also, but this is a easier interface to work with. Right now, it is creating a management tier. Good. Now, let me go into the UI, refresh this. So am I seeing all the 4 subnets? Right? So tomorrow, let us assume I want to create any other network. If I know how to write the script, I can parameterize all of these values. I can try to create variables like what is a resource group's name, what is virtual network's name, what are my CIDR ranges and all of that stuff. Okay. So now I have a virtual network and I have a subnet. Then what else? What is the next thing which I need to create? Network security group. Can I execute this command line, this command, Azure command line? What do you mean by can I execute? Where are you trying to speak about? Rakesh, if you can be more detailed, I'll try to answer this. The reason why we are writing this is because you want to execute it multiple times, right? So let me try to show you one thing. So let me go to the resource groups. Okay, this Qt web, I don't need it. Let me delete this resource group. Right? And this networking also something which I'm not using at this moment. There is no point in having unnecessary resource groups, right? Let me delete this resource group. Okay. So let me also delete from CLI, which I have built from CLI once again. Okay. So let me delete this resource group from CLI. Okay. Now whatever we have run over here, if I want to execute this command, okay, in shell, the file extension should be .sh, or you could create a shell file with this. If you want to execute this in Windows, you can make it as a bat or a PowerShell file and then execute it. So let us wait for that from CLI to be deleted. Okay. Since from CLI, I'll slightly change it again. I'll replace from CLI, okay, with from CLI again. So now I'll select all of this, okay, and I would say run line in terminal. The reason why we write any command line interface is to make our life simple, because it is very easy to recreate the stuff or automate the stuff. Sorry, saying I'm not running the script. The script is running on its own. Okay. Now let me go into the UI, resource groups. Okay. So now let's write commands to execute to create VNet with 4 subnets. So this was my command. Right. Now if I basically go over here, are you seeing from CLI again? Right. So it is created. And then after we have this from CLI, okay, let me save this image first. In this from CLI, if I get into, there will be a VNet. If you remember, the name of our VNet was entire. Okay. I think I'll use this image. This is a better one. So I have from CLI, right? And then in from CLI, I'll have entire. Now, if I get into this entire subnet, entire network, and if I click on the subnet section, so are you seeing all the 4 subnets? If you remember, I've deleted and recreated the stuff. So Rakesh, is your problem resolved? Yeah. We write any CLI or PowerShell because we want to reuse this multiple times. Okay. As VNet 91.png and AZVNet 92.png. Hopefully, I'm using the same names. VNet. Okay. Right. Okay. Good. Now, shall we try to create one more resource group with the okay? Or shall we try to create one more network in a different region with the similar subnets? Okay. So let's create one more VNet in range. Okay. 10.11.0.0/16. Okay. In central US region with 4 subnets. So for that, what you have to do, if you know scripting a bit, you can reuse the script. Okay. But since we don't belong to that category right now, I'm basically copying and pasting these instructions from CLI 10.11. Okay. And then if you basically look into VNet creation, okay, let us go back to this. In VNet creation, where is VNet? VNet create. Okay, are you seeing there is a location field? Okay, so I said that I want it in central US. So I would try to tell that hyphen location central US. If you don't give the location, it will try to take the location of your resource group. Okay, and here it would be 10.11, 10.11, 10.11, and 10.11. Okay, and the name of this resource group will be entire secondary. Okay, I have entire resource group, and then I'll be creating entire virtual network, and I'm creating entire secondary. Was it a really difficult thing to do? Okay, but as I said, if you know little bit of scripting, there is no need for you to copy paste these lines also. You can write decent loops around this. Okay, but both of them I'm putting in the same resource group. It is not necessary. You can use 2 different resource groups also. Right. Okay. Now it will do its job. So after that it will verify. Now let's create a NSG network security group for web subnet machines, which should allow traffic from anywhere on 80 and 22 ports, but deny the rest from internet. Okay, all the communications within within VNet should be possible. Am I clear on this rule, or is there any confusion? Do we know how to do this in UI? Yes, sir. Do we know how to do this from UI? Yeah. So if I have to do this from CLI, what is it I need to do? I need to go over here. Okay. In networks. Okay. Am I finding anything with respect to the stuff network security groups over here? I see ASG. Okay. I'm quite sure that if I see ASG, I'll be able to see NSG also. Are you seeing network security groups? And then create. Okay. And in NSG, we can add rules at a later point of time. So NSG has to be created and then rules have to be added. So shall we create this, sir? Or will you create it? Can you create a NSG? Two NSGs, one for web subnet in primary resource group or entire, and the second one for secondary. Please do that. If I do that, it will sound very easy. You try doing that. I'll give you 5 minutes of time. Okay. And during this time, I will be not sharing my screen. Do that stuff for you. Parallelly, I'll also be doing in the background. Then I'll show you my command, my NSG command. So what is that you need to do? You need to create two NSG rules with 80 port, 443 port, 80 port and 22 port open for internet. VPCs, your virtual network traffic should be allowed, and no other traffic from internet should not be allowed. That webinar, I have stopped showing. NSG create is nothing. It is very simple. You have to just create. Guys, if you have looked at this UI, okay, if you have gone into NSG create, NSG create is nothing. It is very simple. You have to just create the name, you have to give the location, and you have to give the resource group. The complexity is basically creating the rules. In creating the rules, what was the first rule? I wanted all the network traffic within virtual network to be allowed. Yes or no? Okay. So for this, I have to create a rule. And generally, we are interested in inbound rules. Generally, we are interested in inbound rules, right? So that's the reason what I have done is AZ network NSG rule create. I've given a name, I've given NSG name, I've given some priority, which is 300. I've given my resource group names. And whenever I'm filling these values, I'm going to these sections. I'm going to these sections and I'm reading these descriptions. Okay. So if I read these descriptions, my life will be simple. So you look at my CLI command over here. I'm quite sure some of you might have given the CIDR range of virtual network over here, but you need not do that. If you read source address prefixes over here, in source address prefixes, what is it trying to tell? Space list of CIDR prefixes or IP ranges. Or alternatively, you can specify um, virtual network, Azure load balancer, internet, or star. Okay. So I would rather go with this, right? Because this looks more decent. Okay. Now let us assume that I want to create, okay, one more network for that 80 port NSG rule create hyphen name. I'll do one thing. Let me close this and this is AWS CLI. Right. Let me go to Azure CLI 20 and let me open this. Okay. So hyphen name. Okay. So what is the range for what is the stuff which you are trying to give? I will say allow HTTP. Okay. What is your network security group's name? NSG hyphen name. The NSG which I have created is web NSG. Right. And now since I want to go to the next line, I'm just writing this. Okay. And then what is the priority of your rule? Man, it should. Priority of the rule is 310. Hyphen resource group. I'm not remembering any of this. I'm just looking at this and then trying to write these values. But I definitely read the documentation. Okay. So hyphen resource group. So my resource group is from CLI again. Okay. Let us use only one convention, either single quotes or double quotes. It is not a good idea to use both. And what is this about? This is about access. And what is the access which you are trying to speak about? I am trying to speak about allow access. Okay. So what is your source address prefixes? Okay. If you think you will misspell it, you can copy paste these values. Right. This time, if you go into source address prefixes, okay, 80 port from where? From anywhere on the internet, right? So I'm trying to tell internet. Okay. And then what I can basically do is source port ranges. So what will be the source port which your machine will be communicated with? I am not interested. I am not interested. Source port is not really important, right? Destination port is important. Destination address prefixes, and in destination port ranges, I have to specify a port. My port would be 80. So let me go into destination port ranges, and then you can try to tell. Even if you don't give the value, by default it is about 80 port. Okay, right. And then basically direction is inbound and protocol would be TCP. So look at the values of protocol. Protocol TCP with C and P in small cases. Okay. Now I have to write allow 22 port. Okay. So this will be my rule 22. So allow SSH. Okay. 22 from internet. Done. Okay. Now I'll be writing a rule which says deny the rest from internet. Okay. So deny internet. That would be rule where I'll be giving the value of 400. Okay. Source is internet. Let it be any port. Okay. My access will not be allowed. This time it would be deny. Is this not what I've asked for? Okay. Now I'll be writing these three rules for the other virtual network also. For the other virtual network also. Right. So let me add it over here. Okay. So here my web NSG secondary is something which I need to create. So I'll be creating this for web NSG secondary, web NSG secondary, and web NSG secondary. Okay. Yeah. Protocol is also any. Yes, you're right. Okay. If I get into protocol, I can use the value of star. Let it be any protocol. Sorry. Let it be any protocol for the deny. I'll be putting it over here. Over here, star. Am I clear in this on this, sir? If you want to use Oracle port, give Oracle port, open it. Okay, but generally database ports will not open it. What do you call? Database ports will not open it to the outside world. Okay, am I clear on this? Okay, now let me see what is that I have. Let me go into resource groups. In resource groups, I should have two virtual networks. Okay, now I am creating NSGs. So first, let me create a NSG in East US region. Let us see if this works out. Okay. But if you see, all of my rules were inbound. I have not written any outbound rules because we know that there is a default outbound rule. Okay. Ah, Now there is no point. I've made one mistake. Okay, good. My mistake was when I was creating NSG, I have not given my resource group's name. Hyphen hyphen resource group from CLI again. Yeah. So this is something which I need to give at the bottom also. Right. Okay, good. Right. Now let me try to do this activity. Okay, you can do one by one if you want. I am not that, I don't have that much of patience. Right. Okay. Right click, run line in terminal. Okay, if you see, this is a one-time activity. I got to know what has happened. Right, 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 right. These slashes which I have given for readability are basically creating me the trouble. So shall I remove them just for execution? Okay. For execution, what I'll try to do is I'll try to make all of them in a straight line. That slash works on a bash, but not really in here. Okay. This will be a very huge line. That's the reason why I had to write a slash. Okay. So I think that's it. Let me execute them one by one. Okay. Run line in terminal. I've still missed something. Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me run this from PowerShell. I'll copy this. I have PowerShell opened. Let me run it over here. I might have, oh, not this. I might have missed something. Okay. AZ network NSG rule. Let us look at this. Did I miss anything of the required? I've given name, I've given priority, resource group. Okay. So let me add hyphen hyphen resource group. CL again. Okay. Right. That is what I've missed. Okay. Now let me run this command. Unrecognized argument. Oh, resource group spelling mistake. NSG rule create hyphen hyphen resource group. We have used the same thing, right? Why it is saying unrecognized argument? Hyphen hyphen. Strange. Let me try this again. I have two resource group is seeing two times, is it? I got to know. I got to know. Right. So I think here first time I might have misspelled it. Copy paste problems. Okay. Let me remove that. It's okay. Yeah, you guys are right. Yeah. This time there should not be an issue. Okay, so it is running. Okay, while it is running, let me copy all of this, right? I think you guys will be able to correct this, right? Resource group hyphen resource group. Okay, only the first time I made a mistake, is it? Right. Okay, I'm just copying this for you. Okay, for documentation purposes. Okay, so over here, resource. Okay, but remember that square brackets, that this square stuff, that this you have to remove while you're executing. Okay, I have used that only so that you will be able to look at all of the stuff in one line. Am I clear on that? So will you be able to do that? Source address prefixes virtual network. I'm not sure why it is taking the next line, but right, whatever it is aligning, right? Don't get me wrong with respect to these alignments. Okay, okay. So for me, somehow this alignment is not working out. Okay, I'll leave it like that. But I think my whole intention is right, right? Okay, yeah. So fine. So can I basically write a CLI now, which basically looks like this? Yeah. Okay. I am not doing the rest because I want you guys to execute the rest. I have given you the basic reference. Okay. And then you can create NSGs, two NSGs. Right now, two NSGs is just what I have given. Okay. You still have work to do. Let me tell you what are the other things which I want you to do. Okay. So create one more NSG for app VM subnets. You have to create two NSGs. Okay. Create NSG for app VM subnets. Okay. You can do one subnet for both. DB subnets, which should allow all incoming from virtual network. Okay. But nothing from internet. Can you add these rules? You have to create two more. This is for DB subnets. Okay. Can we do this, sir? Can we or can't we? Yeah. So please try to do that. Okay. And then create two network interfaces. One in web subnet and other in DB subnet with private and public IP addresses. Okay. So these are your exercises. This is your exercise 1. This is your exercise 2. Will you do this, sir? Yeah. Try it out. Try it out. Okay. So tomorrow also we will have the class at the usual time where we will try to look at what are these two exercise items which I have basically given. But I don't want people not spending time on this and coming to the class expecting the answer from me. Okay. Please try it out. Even if you are wrong, it is absolutely fine. Anyway, I will write the CLI. We will try to evaluate. After that, we'll be starting PowerShell and we'll do all of this activity in PowerShell. Okay. In PowerShell also, I'll be helping you with initial 3 commands and then I will give you time. So tomorrow's class, prepare for practice. Ensure that you have a laptop connected while you are coming to this classroom because you will be doing most of the PowerShell activities. I will show you, I will guide you to do it. Am I clear on that, sir? Yeah. So ensure that your Azure PowerShell is installed. Okay, there is a video already which we have been speaking about, and I think in that from that video you were able to install CLI and PowerShell, right? It was not difficult, right? Is there any difficulty in that video? I think it is straightforward. I've tried to simplify that. I'm not getting any response. So is it difficult or were you able to follow the YouTube video and do it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, right. Okay, sir. So I think I'll stop it at here. And tomorrow we will be doing these two activities, and then we will be basically heading towards Azure PowerShell. And then we need to go with multiple virtual network connections, VPNs, right, endpoints, and all of that stuff. Okay. So we have load to do, right? Try to ensure that you are up to the mark for whatever we have covered so far. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Yeah, yeah. That's it. Okay. Yeah.